Well, for the purpose of this discovery conversation, my name is Godfrey Wesley Tafida, and I'm a co-founder of Achieve Your Dream Initiative, which is a non-governmental platform that reaches out to the young ones in the secondary schools so that they can be helped to be on the right path early enough and begin the process of deploying the best versions of themselves to the world. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so Mr. Zanam, please can you kindly introduce yourself to us?
Okay, good evening, everyone. My name is Zanao Hassan. Some people call me Malami Ngona. Basically, that is what I do for a living. I consult for agricultural consultants for farms and agricultural related projects across the country.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I would like to share the flyer for the event before we start the questions and answers. Okay, so this is the forthcoming conference. I don't have much to say about this. Mr. Tafida will tell us more about this as time goes on. Okay, so first of all, on the flyer, as we all can see here, it is written Serapta and Partners. So I know most of us don't know what this is. So Mr. Tafida, if you can kindly tell us what Serapta means, we will really appreciate it.
Well, Sarepta depicts the powerhouse. It is the Hebrew version of Zarephath, which is found in 1 Kings 17:7, where the widow was out in the woods to get some firewood to come and cook the last portion of the flour that she has with her child, and then died. And then she had an encounter with the prophet, and then there was an overflow. So Sarepta is that Hebrew version that depicts a powerhouse where people will come to and they will leave prepared and equipped to go conquer the world and face challenge. That's what Sarepta is all about.
Okay, thank you very much. Please, if you have questions as time goes on, you can drop them on the chat section. We'll answer them during the end of this meeting. So also there is this, it presents Taraba Transformative Discourse Conference. So can you please tell us what the conference is all about? Like what should we be expecting?
Well, Taraba Transformative Discourse actually is not my child. Luckily today we are talking with Mr. Zano Hassan. The concept of the platform Taraba Transformative Discourse started on the 26th of December when Zanum stopped over at my place to have a Christmas greeting, you know. And then we were sharing issues, talking about ideas and worrying about all the talk in town about people complaining and lamenting over the situation of Taraba State. And seated there that evening, the night was very long for us, but we came to the conclusion is that we don't want to be part of the problem or complaining or lamenting. We should be a small part of the solution. And that started the story. And the next time we met with Zanom, he came along with Dr. Salem Gimba, and we expanded the discussion. The next phase was with Dr. Garba Etime, and then Dr. Temuso David Jato. These young men, you know, were looking at the whole matter differently from a positive perspective. And they said, well, the thing we need to do is to find a way that we can contribute to the solution rather than be partakers of the larger community that is busy complaining and blaming. And that was how the concept of Taraba Transformative Discourse as a platform came about. So this, I'm just a fuel to the fire that Zenom Hassan, Dr. Salem Gimba, Dr. Etine Garba, and Dr. Temuson, David Jato, you know, have really put together. So that's how the concept of Taraba Transformative Discourse started. I just put the conference to the matter and stated that we need a platform where this matter can be brought to the table so that people who are looking at the positive perspective, positive aspects, should find a platform to contribute to giving direction to the forward motion of Taraba State.
Wow, that is really great, because most of the times when you check the social medias, most of the things you see there are the negative aspects that are always there. So it's really a great initiative trying to change the narrative, which is what we all have to do to contribute to the betterment of our state. Okay, so Mr. Zanau, please can you tell us, you're one of the keynote speakers for the event. Can you tell us like what we should be expecting during this conference from your part?
Yeah, so as the team for the event states, unlocking Taraba's abundant potential. And as you know, Taraba is one of the most endowed states in the country. Um, well, we are full of potentials as the country Nigeria is. Well, Taraba's potential is huge. We are the third largest in terms of landmass. We have one of the largest uh, national parks in fact, in Africa. One white man described it as an untouched natural reserve, and then talk about the longest river, opportunities here and there. And so what we will be exploring is that is for us to be able to understand what these potentials are, where are they actually located, what can be done about them, and if you want to invest, how much investment can you bring about, and all of that. So these are some of the things that different speakers will be talking about as it relates to agriculture, as it relates to tourism, as it relates to solid mineral, to the water resources we have, um, uh, as well as agriculture, tourism, water resources, forest resources, and then solid mineral. And then also, we will also be looking at what are those impediments that have kept us the way we are as a people, and which one of the speakers will also be bringing some, um, I don't want to call it some political angle to it, but the human angle to all of these things, some of the impediments we've been facing as a state. So basically, that's what people will be expecting.
All right, thank you very much. So back to you, Mr. Tafida. We know you didn't just choose your speakers just like that. So can you tell us who those people are and why why you think they are the right people for that event?
There are so many right people,
Yeah.
but we look for the right people that are also aligned to this concept of
Visions.
jumping with us into this unexplored territory. There are not, this platform is not available, and it's a frightening platform right now. It's not everybody that will want to come on it. Therefore, we'll find people that are confident and also willing to jump with us into this area of uncertainty. And you have the professor of forestry and genetics from the University of Ukari, who will be speaking on the forest resources. We have the director of the Bureau for Solid Minerals, who has all the data and the locations of where all the solid minerals are. We have the permanent secretary from the water agency, who is aware of where the water is, either on the surface or below the surface. We have Lucas, who is a zonal coordinator for tourism, who understands what is happening in the Northeast, and particularly is a Caribbean. Now we're looking at Zenum, who is grounded in the nitty-gritties of the details of what agriculture is all about, providing the various links with counseling and direction. And we have Comrade Isa, who is going to talk to us about the kind of mindsets that have held us hostage and made us to become children at the age of close to 30. So he's going to help us to either point out what is limiting us so that we can begin as a people to start internally to liberate ourselves before we invite others to come and help us out. So those are the speakers that we assembled for this conference.
Well, that's great. And also, what do you aim to achieve by the end of this conference?
By the end of this conference, we are looking at, we are targeting particularly those who are in Taraba that have already invested in Taraba, and they are confident that the Taraba investment is safe for their investment. So many people out there will be thinking Taraba State is not safe. We have people who have invested in hotels, in clinics, in pharmacies, in farms, and stuff like that. Now it is and the processing facilities for various crops. And we are targeting these people particularly, and people in the civil service who are lost at what to do with themselves right now as they are maturing and moving towards retirement and thinking about what to do with themselves. So we are trying to capture these internal resources, investment potential, and direct them towards what is possible. So these are our primary target beneficiaries. There are several others who will be the additional spectators or people who are curious to find out what's going on. But our direct uh, beneficiaries are those who are already investing in Taraba State environment and are comfortable with the situation. So these are our target. We expect them to have the kind of information that will help them to diversify from what they're doing now, diversify from hospitals and clinics and pharmacies and hotels and processing facilities to other areas that will help boost their income. And that will also add value to the internally generated revenue for the state and help the state to be capable to begin to create opportunities for the citizens.
Okay, so after this conference, like, will it be a one-time thing, or what are the plans?
You see, most of the people that are part of the organizers are young men. They have their lives ahead of them, and they will not allow this to be a one-time thing. Like if I'm looking at it from the short-term perspective, they are there actually to carry it on. So Taraba Transformative Discourse is going to be actually an incorporated entity. It becomes a platform that will continue from here to give people voice. People who are trying to add value to Taraba State, we want to give them voice using this platform. So Taraba Transformative Discourse is not a one-time thing, but this conference may be the one-time conference for this moment. There will be seminars, symposiums, talk shows that will ride on this platform so that it can give voice to all the valuable resources that we have either in diaspora, outside the state, and within the state.
Okay, so thank you very much. Please, for those who just recently joined us, you can drop your comments below, like the chat. If you have questions you would like to ask any of the hosts, any of the guests, sorry, you can drop your question and respond to them. Please, can you kindly unmute your mics to avoid the sound? Okay, so Mr. Tafi, that yeah, I know a lot of youth, especially in Taraba State, don't really believe in what the potentials we have in the state. Sorry, let me see where the mic is coming from. Okay. So a lot of youth in Taraba State don't really believe in the potentials we have, and they are not helping in promoting of the state. We as youth, especially with the use of social media now, we have like a very great responsibility to help in the promotion of the state, but a lot of them are just there waiting for the government to do everything. So what do you have to say to the youth out there?
Well, what I have to say to the youth is that there has to be a paradigm shift. You know, thinking about how you can channel your energies positively. You know, the youths are exuberant and they're just finding avenues to express, vent out this energy. So you can't blame them for being overzealous on the social media. And it is what they have and know that they are really putting forward. And just like you rightly pointed out, we're trying to change the narrative by bringing more positive information. By the time this conference is over and it's packaged, the information will be available to everyone, and then they will have something more positive to direct their energies. That's my message to them. That they pay attention to what is coming positively and to direct their energies appropriately. Though you know it's very difficult to harness that energy and put it in a channel, but I'm confident that by the time they have more positive things out there, they would like to also ride on it.
Okay, so thank you very much. If you have any question, like, you can just unmute your mic and then you ask. And also for the forthcoming event, it will be in Taraba State. That's for those who can be able to make it. But there is an online provision for those who are far away. If you want to join, I will share the link on Facebook, on my YouTube channel, and also I want to try to see how I can share it here so that you can try to register if you want to join via the Zoom meeting. It will be next week, Wednesday. So if you would like to join, let me share the link.
Okay, just to add to what Mr. Tefida has said, one of the reasons also for this conference is the fact that, just as you said earlier in the beginning, that Taraba had been in the news for the wrong reason. Right in front of your computer, if you Google Taraba in Google Images, what you will see are pictures of crises here and there. Google Ebonyi, you will see beautiful cities, beautiful places, and all of that. And so we have for a very long time been promoting the wrong ideas, or the media have projected us in the very wrong side. And we who are Tarabans have not also been able to blow our trumpets to be able to tell the world what we are made of, what we have, what we can do, so there's a general stereotype and there's a general perception about what Taraba is all about. So this conference is aimed at bringing up critical debates about Taraba, and these debates that will begin to raise the consciousness of people, that will begin to bring about an idea in the minds of people, be it investors, be it students who want to do research, be it civil servants or public servants who are going to bring up about policies that will affect the state, or be it a businessman who wants to put his money and things like that. So the more of this we continue to have, the better it is for our people. When you don't know that Taraba State is the only state, in fact, in the whole of West Africa that grows tea, that can even make a cup of tea. What I mean by cup of tea means you have sugar, you have milk, you have tea, and you have even coffee inside it. That Taraba State is the only state in the country that has all of those four ingredients that makes up a cup of tea or makes up a cup of coffee. And when somebody is thinking about investment, he should be able to think along that side, whether in production, whether in processing, in order to reach, a huge market. Another advantage we have as a state is the fact that we are also along an international border linking Central Africa, also linking Central Africa, which means that from Cameroon you'll be able to access much more other African countries. We don't benefit more from the West African ECOWAS countries, but we are also closer to Central Africa, which means that we can take advantage of international trade outside of our borders. So there are a lot of opportunities that this conference is expected to bring to fore, and then begin to stimulate ideas in our minds, and for us to take action in the future.
Oh, that's really great. You wouldn't want to miss this conference for anything, and there is no excuse for anyone. You can join via Zoom if you are not in Taraba State. Okay, so there's a question here. Let me read it out. He said, there is no doubt that Taraba has a lot of potential, as we know that the power is very crucial to development of any sector. I would like to ask, what is the Taraba people and government doing to push for the completion of the Mambila power plant? So this question is directed to one of our two guests. I don't know if you got the question, or I should repeat it.
Yeah, I understand the question. Let me take it while Zeno will back it up. Actually, when you're talking about the Mambila Hydro project, we are talking about a project that is going to last like 8 years before it comes into completion. So if anybody is thinking about power, we should be focusing on the Kashibila Dam, which is in Takum. And that has almost is like 98% or 99% completion. They are thinking of running up and then commissioning that that project. I think that's where the power is going to come from. So Taraba State government, first and foremost, before the current governor came to become governor of Taraba State, he was in the Ministry of Power, and he was a contributing factor to moving the Kashimila Dam project to a higher level before he moved over to become the governor of Taraba State. And from here, he's partnering in the Minister of Power, which incidentally and coincidentally and to our advantage is also from Taraba State. They are working together to speedily complete and commission the Kashimila Dam so that they can begin the evacuation of power and distribution. And that is a very strong basis for industrialization.
Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
just to add to the power question, I think anybody who is looking at the future should begin to think Taraba, because we are the future power states in the country, and even at the moment, Kashimbila is bringing on stream 40 megawatts, and which is going to serve major parts of the southern Taraba and northern parts of Benue. If you are thinking of citing an industry, I think you should begin to think of Ukari, Donga, Takumaxis to be able to cite, because you'll be able to tap from the newly inaugurated or soon to be inaugurated 40 megawatts power supply. So these are these are areas of great potentials for those who want to go into processing or any business activities that will require constant power supply in the state. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we have one other comment here. He said, I think Taraba State should make a committee for pushing and monitoring of our potentials and goals, because there are a lot of potentials in the state that people don't know about. Yeah, it's true. And I believe that's one of the aims of this conference. And the thing is, one thing I believe in is we cannot always sit down and wait for the government to do everything for us, because they have a lot already on their table. So I believe each and every one of us have a responsibility and a role to play in this aspect. Since, I don't know, Mr. Tafila, you can tell us if there is already a set goal in this aspect. But for me, I think each and every one of us have a role to play.
Uh, just to say simply that the leadership of any state actually is produced from the system. That is the people that produce the leadership. Therefore, if the people are the kind of people that have drive and are enthusiastic and very concerned about their own development, the kind of leadership that will emerge will carry over this sentiment into government. Therefore, just like you mentioned, instead of the youths and everyone pushing for the negative narrative on the Facebook, they should be looking at directly focusing on positive, not criticism, but pointing at the gaps and the needs and the areas of concern that they feel as citizens that they should be seen. And that will help the government to begin to align to the sentiments of the citizens. Right now, as we're speaking, the Taraba Investment and Property Limited is the agency that has been in place, and it has been empowered recently to begin to take on this role of harnessing our various potentials and helping to find platforms that they can project it. They're also thinking about putting a desk in the Taraba Investment and Property Limited for investors, so that you don't come and start running across the state looking for which agency that you need to be able to plant a business. And that is one area that this conference is going to address and bring forward. Incidentally, the keynote speaker for that day is the managing director of Taraba Investments and Property Limited, who will lay out what the environment, the investment environment looks like. You know, the various components that the state government is addressing, looking at the possible incentives that are available to investors and stuff like that. So there's a desk that is about to be established. By the time this conference is over, these are some of the components that we package so that we can directly push them or indirectly through lobbying to pass them through the various platforms of government that are responsible for putting together policies, programs, and projects. And that will serve as the quality input to drive that.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And due to our time, we have like 10 minutes more. So I don't know if anyone has another question to ask or anything else to say? Mr. Matthias, good evening, sir.
Hello, good evening. Good morning for me.
Okay, good morning, sir.
Oh.
So I know you've been following. Do you have anything to add to this?
Oh, wow. That's a, thank you for hosting them, hosting us this program.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, fortunately, I have been, I believe last week, I have Africa last week, and we discussed a lot about the program they're about to launch out. And I really commend this initiative, especially coming from private individuals. Unlike usually you expect this to come from the government, and I think it's highly commendable. And I'm sure with time, the government definitely need to come behind them. But you need the government as a big player in this kind of initiative. But definitely, I look forward to attending the program. As far as question, I really don't think I have any question, just to commend them for this great initiative. Thank you for having us on your platform as well.
Thank you very much. It's indeed a pleasure. Okay, we have one question. Taraba is a great state. My question is, what is the state doing to improve the security situation in the state, which is scaring investors from the state?
Okay, I think let me attempt this question, even though we are not government. But I also want to point out another angle to the security issues bedeviling the state. For a very long time, we have used one type of approach, which is government approach. Government deploying police, deploying soldiers, bringing Amotekun, there's one they call Aya Patuma also, and the likes, to be able to quell tension and crisis within the state. Taraba State, within the last 20 years, we've had almost virtually close to every local government had one series of communal clashes or the other. So sometimes they just keep changing them, but there is an underlying factor. There's a high level of illiteracy, there is high level of unemployment, there is idleness. There's even idleness even in governments for at the moment, because you know the way things are. A lot of people working, earning salaries without actually working. So idleness is there, and so this is creating room for lots of crises. When you have a huge population who don't have a stake, who have nothing to lose, they don't own a house, they don't own families, they don't have anything to lose. They are easy tools for crisis, and I think that we need a change of approach towards tackling security issues in the state, and one of that is to increase investment. In as much as security is there to also safeguard investment, investment is also coming in order to also ensure that this security is sustained. Because so long as you keep putting police can't stop crisis from happening. But when you are able to engage the larger percentage of the citizens through employment that this investment will bring, it is going to, at a great extent, reduce and also sustain peace. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We're running out of time. We have like 5 minutes to go. I have this last question. I would like to ask the person asking this question a question too. The question is, please, how can someone be partner and member of this platform? So I don't know which of the platform the person is referring to. Is it the conference or which of the platform? Please, if you can specify.
Well, if he doesn't have, I have an idea. We are looking for sponsors. If he has big pockets and he wants to sponsor any part of the event,
Yeah.
he's open to do that. Also, if you also want to contribute to the partner as part of as the back end, or those who are cooking up the food from the kitchen, he's also welcome. We'll very soon will be able to open it up for as many who want to also join in organizing the future events. Thank you.
Okay, so we have like 4 minutes left. Okay, so for that person that asked this question, you can follow, you can check me out on Facebook if you really want to partner with Mr. Zanau, so that you can be attended to. So I want to like thank Mr. Godfrey, Mr. Zanau, and every other person on this platform for your time. We have come to the end of this. We're running out of time. So
Sorry,
if you have,
before you round up,
yeah, one last word.
go ahead, sir.
Okay, just to say that for the purpose of those who are watching and using this platform, we want to say that if you're a civil servant who or a retired civil servant looking for opportunities for investment, Taraba Transformative Conference is for you. If you're already an investor in certain areas and you're thinking about diversifying to add value to what you're doing, Taraba Transformative Discourse Conference is for you. If you're an academician or a student, the data that will be churned out and information is also going to be useful for you, either in your thesis or research to develop and add value to most of the produce that we're wasting here. If you're a potential investor or Tarabian outside Taraba State or in diaspora, we're looking at giving you the opportunity to see what is possible and what is available. So the 30th of September by 9 a.m., for those who will be physically present at the John Yami Stadium, you're welcome. Those who will not be physically present, even if you're on your farm, the Zoom platform is available to you, and we would like to hear your voice so that you can help us enrich this pursuit, so that the policies, program, and projects will also have your inputs and add quality to our lives, and also to all others who are trying to create jobs using the various investments. Your input will also add value to that. Thank you very much, and you'll be welcome on that day on September 30th by 9 a.m. Nigeria Stadium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So, Mr. Zana,
Yeah, sorry, much more. To know more, you can go check us out on Facebook, Taraba Transformative Discourse on Facebook. Also, the website has more information, which is ttd.org.ng, ttd, Taraba Transformation Discourse.org.ng, or ttd.org.ng. Thank you.
okay,
Also encourage other people to pre-register so that we'll be able to send the links to each and everyone who has pre-registered.
Okay, so
thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your time, and thank you for everyone who joined. And for those who weren't able to join us, this video will be available on Facebook and also on YouTube for people to watch. Don't forget, there is no obstacle for you. Join this program via Zoom, or if you're in Taraba State, plan to attend next week, Wednesday by 9 a.m. Thank you very much, and God bless you. See you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.